Hi everybody, sanibonani, welcome to my channel. Igama lami Ntando Mdletshe, and on this channel siyasibuka ama-reality shows ethu ala eMzansi bese siza la sizokhuluma ngawo lama shows. Siyaphinda ke futhi sikhulume ngama-celebrities kanye nama-YouTubers ethu ala eMzansi. If it is your first time joining me today and you really like my content, there's a subscribe button la ngezansi and a notification bell uma ngabe uyayithanda kakhulu content yale channel. Listen you guys, today we are going to talk about Real Housewives of Durban. One of the things that we do on this channel is that we obsess over the reality shows. Okay, we talk about everything and anything that has to do with the reality shows and the reality shows stars. Okay, if your nail need to be talked about, we shall talk about it. If your eyelash need to be talked about, we shall we shall talk about it. And today you guys, we're going to talk a little bit about the process of bringing people onto the show Real Housewives of Durban, and in relation to Nonku. Okay guys, there's a lot of ways to support this channel. There is a like button, you guys. The like button is such a nice thing to use to support the channel, because you guys, a like button is actually free to use. Okay, so please press the like button. So you guys, I wanted to go back a little bit with Real Housewives of Durban. I want to go back to season 1, episode 1, season 1. Okay, and look at how Nonku was brought onto the show, because I feel like how she was brought onto the show affects how she reacts to people being brought onto the show using her. Okay, Nonku, if you look at episode 1, season 1 of Real Housewives of Durban, was never really meant to be the full-time cast member on Real Housewives of Durban. I think at most Nonku was supposed to be a friend of the show. The person that was supposed to be the cast member or on Real Housewives of Durban season 1 was actually uThobekile Ndlovu. uThobekile was introduced, had a tagline and everything when they were doing the photo shoots and everything. The initial she was there initially, but towards by the time the show ended or the season ended, she was no longer there. Okay, uThobekile Ndlovu is a known and very successful businesswoman in KZN. You guys, if you look at her profile, it looks like the person that would be suitable to be on Real Housewives, because she's very successful. It's a kind of a woman that really, as a black woman, you want to see on our TV screens, and you want our kids to see on our TV screens, because we want our girls to see what you can be a successful business woman being a black woman. Okay, so looking at her profile, you would think this is a perfect person to put on Real Housewives of Durban, but when she came on, it really didn't work out for her. Also, another thing with uThobekile is that when she came on, it really sounded like she knows Usorisha from around Durban. She knows her, they meet in business events and all of that. So for me, if I'm just looking at that, I would think this is going to be a perfect person for the show, but it just didn't work out for her. First, uThobekile was very, very uncomfortable in front of the camera. She just couldn't get used to it. You know, it also, she looked like somebody that doesn't like to talk as much. She didn't like confrontation. She was uncomfortable when there was drama. And if you can't do those things, it's hard for you to be on a reality show. Okay, so in episode 1, season 1, the way that Nonku came on the show was as a friend of uThobekile Ndlovu. It was one of those things, you know, like your friend will tell you, mngani kuya apply laphayana municipality, asambe so apply umsebenzi. You both apply for the job, you go for an interview, you get the job, your friend doesn't get a job, but your friend was the one that called you. That's exactly what happened with uThobekile and Nonku. uThobekile brought Nonku as a friend to the show, and for them, you guys, it sounded like they knew each other. They are both in construction, and Nonku talks about how uThobekile and her help each other here and there when it comes to businesses and stuff. So they knew each other before the show. They might not have been best friends, but they knew each other before the show. So uThobekile brings Nonku comes to that first dinner that they had in Sorisha's house. Drops the biggest bomb that we've ever seen on Real Housewives of Durban, which was the fact that she has a child with Ayanda Ngwane's late husband, Usfiso Ngwane, and that was the storyline for like 2 seasons on the show. So obviously the producers are looking at the two of them and looking like, this one looks like she's more interesting than this one. Okay, this one we might have thought this one was gonna do well, but it feels like this one is doing better, so they ended up casting Nonku as a full-time cast member on the show. The interesting thing about Nonku, you guys, is the fact that when she came on the show, she came in exactly like Usane, because when she came in, everybody was like, who is this? Oh, so it's Tobe's friend. People didn't know who she was, and were surprised also that she just came in. They were just meeting her, and the next thing they know everything about her being a side chick, and all of that. So it was exactly like her coming in was exactly like Sane Bengu's coming in. She comes in, they don't know her, she's not supposed to be part of the cast, but then she drops the biggest bomb, which leaves everybody now not having a choice but to bring her back on the show, because then it became a storyline. The bomb that she dropped became a storyline. Okay, now Utobe disappears after a few episodes on the show, because really honestly she didn't like being on the show, you guys. And then Nonku remains. Now they try to bring Ulona Usiswaka Seme as a friend ka Nonku, the same way that they brought Nonku as a friend ka Tobe. Now when they do that, now it was clear. Even Naye Umabusi does say in some interview that, look guys, yes, I was brought in as a friend of Nonku, but we were not friends, but we knew each other. We had same friends somehow, and we would meet at certain events. So of course that's the reason why they brought me as her friend, because that's the only person that I actually knew from the cast. However, you guys, remember, Nonku has already had an experience where somebody brings her to the show and she ends up being the one that takes the job. So now she's going to be cautious when she brings people to the show, because she knows that a person can actually come on the show as your friend and take your spot on the show. So maybe she's just not gonna want to pretend to be somebody's friend, because she knows that you run that risk of somebody taking your spot and they're left on the show, and you have to go because you're not doing well on the show. So a few times go through Ulokuza Umabusisem under the bus and denied her. Like I say, you guys, Nonku is always going to be Judas Iscariot. She's going to deny you before iqhude likhali kathathu, If you are a friend, expect to be denied at some point in your life. So obviously she throws Mabu system under the bus and says that she doesn't know her, they're not friends, which was true. But being on a reality show, she should have understood that that's not what she's supposed to do. But I do feel like part of it is the fact that she knows when people are coming onto the show, when they keep adding people to the show, those people indirectly are coming for your spots, because at the end of the day they can't have 20 housewives. So as they are getting more and more interesting people to come on the show, they might find you less and less interesting. So it's like, as they bring people into the show, you must make sure that you let the producers know that you are still as important, you are still more interested than the new people that they are bringing onto the show. So now we are in season 3 and they are bringing in Usli as a friend, Nonku. Of course, you guys, if you go on their Instagram, both Usli and Nonku, they do have pictures there that they took together. So it looks like these people did know each other. They might not have been best of friends, but they knew each other. Also, you guys, if you are on the reality shows, some people are going to become friends to you just so they can get on the show. So it might have been that Usli have wanted to be on the show for a while. She does say that she was approached to be on the show when she was in that relationship with that man that went and married another woman within 3 months, and she didn't want to be on the show because she felt like the show was not going to be about her. But this season she felt like, you know what, the rich guy is gone, I need some money, let me come on the show. Well, that's not what she said. She said that she just felt like now it's going to be about her. But we know it's a little bit, it's like, okay, she does need an extra job or exposure, because now she's on her own. Okay, so now are we surprised that Nonku is treating Usli the way that she is treating Usli? I'm not surprised, you guys, because that has been Nonku. But I'm also not surprised because she knows that if Usli is liked by the viewers and also comes on and is liked by the producers more than she's liked by her, you know, like it puts your position at risk as well, because like I said, they can't have 20 housewives, you know. The more they bring in, some will have to go out. So she knows that. Nonku, was it a good idea for producers to bring Usli as a friend Nonku? I don't know. I think maybe they felt like, because of course there's that connection. If you look at their Instagram, you can see that they've known each other. But I feel like maybe they should have brought Usli as a friend of Usorisha. You know, let Usorisha pretend. She is good at pretending. She can just pretend that Usli is her friend. And also Usorisha just seems to like Usli better than Unonku does, you guys. Can we really blame Nonku for treating the friends that are brought on the show the way that she treats them? I don't think so, you guys, because on a reality show like that, where it's not a family reality show, if it's a family reality show, I mean, I'm a family member, I can be on a reality show because I'm always going to be a family member unless I don't want to do the show. But this is an ensemble, and so every season they are looking at who can we bring in, who is more interesting, who has more to tell in terms of their story, who has told us everything that we don't need anything anymore, who can we do without, who do we need to keep. Absolutely, the show cannot go on without them. And so indirectly they have to fight for their spot on the show, whether you are my friend or not. If I feel like your story at the end of the day is going to be more interesting than my story on the show, I shall throw you under the bus, so that at the end of the day I am the one that they keep. It sounds cruel, but that's how it works, you know. At the end of the day, Nonku has to keep her spot on the show. Of course, you guys, there is an issue of Usli coming onto the show and becoming Sorisha's friend. I feel like when you come on a reality show, even if you come as somebody's friend, you have to give everybody a chance in terms of building friendships with everybody. And I think we've seen this with Uma Kumalo last season, where we felt like she was too clingy when it came to Sorisha. I think that she did not give herself a chance to get to know all of the other cast members, and or if she did, we did not see it on the show, and so we were not able to even judge if she was doing well on the show, because we didn't see her with the others. We just saw her with Sorisha. So I think that even if they bring you to the show and you are somebody's friend, you still have to make an effort to build friendships with the other cast members on the show, because the person that brings you to the show might actually throw you under the bus to save their spots at the end of the day. Okay, so now when it comes to Nonku and Usli, we saw on the second episode where Nonku says first episode actually, where Nonku says Usli had said some things about Ujojo, and I think that was just the typical Nonku throwing her friend under the bus, you guys. And I think that in the first episode, Usli did try to hold her own. I think the issue now that we're going to have with Usli is the fact that now there's a new thing that she has said to Kelvin, where she went to Kelvin and said, listen bro, I am single, I am looking for a rich man. But obviously she did not want us to know about it. I think the issue that I'm having with that, because of course it's like we don't know if it happened because we were not there, the cameras were not there, or they are there because sometimes the producers are sneaky. Maybe they will show us later that she actually did say that, because sometimes they do that. I think for me, what makes me believe that she might have said something like that to Kelvin is because Kelvin said it. You know, I feel like Kelvin has no reason to lie, and I feel like Kelvin has no reason to be messy. She just, usually he would just come on to state facts and he would be gone, just like any other husband does. Okay, so I feel like the fact that Kelvin is saying that that happened, it must have happened. Okay, was it right for Nonku to tell Ujojo that information? I feel like since they are friends, she should have told Jojo. But I think what I'm feeling like, where I'm feeling like Nonku is messy, is the fact that she didn't go back to her friend Usli and say, friend, listen, I know you were drunk that day, because it sounds like Vele they were drinking. I know you were drunk, but you remember you said this to Kelvin. So since Jojo is my friend, I had to tell her, so that Usli is prepared for that scene when she goes to that event, Kasorisha, and she's confronted about what she said to Kelvin. Okay, so it did feel like, even though this season Nonku is trying to say, yes, Lee is my friend, but I feel like she's more of a friend to Jojo than she is to Usli. Because even though Usli did something wrong, because if you tell somebody's husband that you are single and that you're going to go get tattoos with them, that is wrong. You don't become that friendly with somebody's husband, is because, especially if you are not that person's friend. Because Usli, so far, she's not Jojo's friend, and they're not getting along because babanga Nonku. So how are you so friendly with my husband when you are not so friendly with me? I understand that point, Jojo. But I feel like Nonku, if she is really a friend to Usli, she should have at least gone back to Usli and say, my friend, remember when we were at the party, you said this to Kevin, and I told Jojo. So Jojo might actually confront you. Okay, so somehow Nonku does not want Usli to look like a good person. Whether Usli is a good person or not, you guys, we don't know yet, because we are only in episode 3. We don't know yet. Okay, episode 2 actually, we don't know yet if Usli is a good person. We are still waiting to see. Okay, but from all that Nonku has presented, it looks like she does not want us to think that Usli is a good person, and she does not want the other cast members to think Usli is a good person. And in that, it makes me feel like Nonku is constantly fighting for her spot on the show. You are not going to come on the show and get a better chance of coming back next season better than me, because I have brought you to the show. It does not matter if you are my friend or not. Okay, so you guys, that's all that I wanted to talk about today. Listen, it's always a battle with these housewives, because at some point they're not gonna do the housewives forever and ever and ever. You know, you are an OG until one season they tell you that you're not coming back next season. So when we watch these shows, we also have to be aware that as much as they are trying to build these friendships, they are also fighting for their spots on the show. Guys, please, let's remember that these people that we talk about on these reality shows or on these videos that we're doing is people that we don't know. Don't take it personally when we say things that you don't like about them on these videos. We don't know these people, you know, we just do this for entertainment. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like it before Pumagana, share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Ntando kakhulu.